Hello and welcome again to my basement. Today we are going to wash some 78's. Got several sitting over here. I've got some warm water with ivory soap in it, some clean water to wash off, and then a drying rack and a little toothbrush to scrub. Now this is a pretty dirty record, as you can see, kind of scratched up too, but 78's, it doesn't matter as much as it does with 33's because the groove pitch is not as fine and that kind of stuff, and the forward velocity's higher, so it isn't noticed as much. So what you do, and you gotta kind of avoid the label because it can peel off, but you just quickly dunk and then scrub and then rinse and then put in the rack. As I sit here getting ready to clean up the last two records, which were actually single-sided 12-inch Victor records from the early 1900s, you might ask, why am I doing it this way instead of some of the other ways that you have seen on YouTube, such as the glue method? Well, there's two reasons for that. First of all, you don't know what's in the glue, and don't know what it's going to leave for residue. Secondly, these are shellac. These are not vinyl. When you go to peel that off, it'll probably crack the record in half. So I'm going to clean this one off, and then the final one, and then they'll be ready to dry. Another question you may be asking, well, this is an acoustical record. This one dates from 1909. You know, what good is cleaning going to do? There's not much there to begin with. That's true, there's not a lot of frequency response, and shellac is a inherently noisy recording medium compared to vinyl, but these ones, especially these pre-1940s ones, were pretty much only played on normal old style Victrolas with steel needles that lasted one play, and these records had additives that ground down those steel needles. And with that, there's little metal filings in here, along with all kinds of other assorted dirt. Now the 40s ones and 50s ones that I have here, such as the Perry Como and the Spike Jones, those were more than likely played at some time with sapphire needles, so not as much junk in there, but they also weren't sleeves. So they got dirt and junk. So what you do is you just clean the junk out of the grooves to give you the best chance. And this water is a little brown, and I've only cleaned 4 records. I guarantee if I ran a strong magnet through the bottom of that, you would see some little iron filings from the steel needles. But last record to clean, then they dry for 24 hours minimum before they get played. And I don't subscribe to the wet playing thing. Yeah, that does reduce the surface noise a bit, but then you always have to play the record wet. And since these will be traveling at 78 RPMs, everything around my turntable will get wet. It would just sling water off. So that's kind of dumb in this case. So I actually play it at 45 RPM and then adjust accordingly in my audio software. And that actually gives you a little bit better bass response and moves rumble and such down out of the audible spectrum.